Meanwhile, more evidence the Democratic Party's confidence in the president is waning, with the first Senate Democrat publicly calling for Biden to drop out.
Brooke Singman is here now with all the details for us. Hey, Brooke.
Hey, guys. Yeah, that's right. And it is nice and warm in the studio today. Thank you, Ainsley. But Democratic Senator Peter Welch of Vermont becoming the first Democrat in the Senate to join that growing list of Democrat lawmakers calling on the president to step aside. Welch writing, quote, "He saved us from Donald Trump once, and he wants to do it again. He needs to reassess whether he is the best candidate to do so. In my view, he is not." Now, a total of 10 Democrats have now come out against President Biden, telling him to withdraw from the race. And Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer doesn't see the harm in Biden taking a cognitive test. Listen.
As some people have suggested, just go ahead and take a cognitive test and demand that Donald Trump do the same?
I don't think that'd hurt, to be honest. But at the end of the day, you know,
so you think that he should take a cognitive test?
I don't think it would hurt.
Top Hollywood stars who previously backed the president are now also suggesting Biden step aside, including George Clooney, who headlined that fundraiser with the president just a few weeks ago. Now, in a new op-ed, Clooney is writing, quote, "The Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big expletive deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate." Now, a Biden campaign source telling the New York Times that the president stayed for over 3 hours at that fundraiser while Clooney took a photo and quickly left. This is the same fundraiser where former President Barack Obama appeared to usher Biden off the stage after it looked like he froze. Back to you guys.
All right, Brooke, thank you very much. And see, that's the worry about tonight. You know, as we have heard from the president of the United States for a couple of years, he goes, watch me, watch me. 2 weeks ago tonight was the night of the debate, and we watched him, and it was horrifying. And there are a number of, according to the Washington Post this morning, there are a number of Democratic lawmakers who are holding their breath because they feel that if he has a bad performance, and a lot of them are pulling for him to have a bad performance, so he wakes up and smells the coffee and goes, you know, you're right. I shouldn't be doing that.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I have to defend the president. I think this is all wrong. All these leaks that are coming out and all the people that have witnessed him before, and then they decided that they were still going to be with him. They have said publicly, remember, they criticized us for playing the video of that same event where President Barack Obama is escorting him off a stage like a little toddler. And so for you,
like a big boy.
Like a big boy. So all of these people had his back before and were with him, and now they want him to get out of the race. I mean, look, I've been very clear. I think that he should resign as president right now because I don't think he can govern right now. But on the face of this, I feel like they're all being cowards. If you believe this strongly, then have the 25th Amendment. Don't base it based on now that you guys are going to lose. I think it's disloyal of them. I think it's hypocritical of them. And I think that they hid this all from the American people. So when you go see him in a movie now, remember this. Remember all the people in the cabinet that are now coming out saying, oh, yeah, we haven't been able to meet with him. So, it's crazy.
So George Clooney, they tried to get George Clooney to pull back on this editorial, and he wouldn't. But they did come out with a response. This Annie Carney says, Biden is fighting back on Clooney from a source familiar with the event. The president stayed there for 3 hours while Clooney took a photo quickly and left.
That picture
so
right
basically,
there.
How would he know? Clooney is mad because Joe Biden condemned the International Criminal Court, which his wife works on, for indicting Netanyahu. Said, you got to be kidding me. So he called up the White House and was mad prior to that. And you wonder if he was still going to do it. And what courage does it take? Now, Rob Reiner says it's sad, I got to go. And Michael Douglas goes, it's really sad, I got to go. For Dave, okay, go ahead.
This is what I'm noticing after reading all of the events, all the sound bites from people over the last 24 hours, if not more. When I came in this morning, the overall theme is they all knew it behind the scenes.
That's right.
George Clooney said he knew it.
We've been talking about it for years.
We have been for years. But they told us it was deep fakes, that we were editing videos. George Clooney says when he was at the fundraiser weeks ago, he knew it. Yet he still raised tens of millions of dollars, kept his mouth shut until now when everyone's talking, till after the debate. Then you have this former advisor to Obama, John Favreau, who is saying that he's calling on the president to quit. He says it didn't surprise any of us. We were all talking about this at the fundraiser, saying the same thing, except for the people who are working for Joe. So he was another one who kept his mouth shut until now. Chuck Todd, who said he talked to a senior cabinet member who told him 2 years ago they didn't think that Biden can continue as president.
Yeah.
So the theme is they all knew it,
right,
and they kept their mouth shut and thought and let America believe, the Democrats believe, or people that watch other channels, that he was fine and
They
fully
made the president think that as well.
Right.
They've been telling him everything is fine. Imagine, all of us have had family members that have dealt with some sort of mental health decline as they advance in age. Imagine not being honest with them and then suddenly one day deciding when everybody turns their back against the person that there's something wrong.
Well, you know, yesterday was a big day.
That's not right.
The momentum started with Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi goes, essentially, is that your final offer? And then you have Chuck Schumer apparently behind the scenes telling donors, I'm okay with him not being at the top of the ticket. And then you have George Clooney. It seems like it was all in the same day. And then a bunch of the dam has broken in Hollywood.
Well, it was led by the Obama bros.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.